Tarot of Yoga with Jeff Otero, and tonight we're just doing a nice, quick, easy stretch. It's my first class on the Moxie platform, so I'm giving it a try, and I hope you enjoy it. Please feel free to leave me comments, and we'll get started. So it's going to be about 30 minutes of beginner level vinyasa. So work your way onto your mat, and you can sit on a blanket or a block. And we're going to start off with a nice little mindfulness meditation, or a meditation of intent. So come into your mindful seat. You can just sit cross-legged, or you can sit up on a blanket or a block, or you can sit in hero pose like this, maybe with a blanket or a bolster underneath your hips like this, right under your sit bones. If sitting flat on your bum is like not good for you, you can sit like this. It's a great place to be for meditation, and I think I'll just be right here for today. So this intent meditation, just close your eyes and first just take a couple breaths to let go of the day thus far. Let go of any stressors or things that made you feel anxious about getting to your mat for a little bit of practice. And give yourself a little time and space to just arrive at your practice. And as you breathe here, maybe take ownership of your practice. Claiming this time and this space for yourself to breathe and stretch and feel good in your body. So before we begin, as we draw our inhales, just want to draw a nice long breath all the way down to the belly and actually release the belly as you inhale. And then as you exhale, gently hug the navel in towards the spine to support a nice long lift in the spine. And as you inhale, repeat silently to yourself, my body is strong and supple. And as you exhale, repeat silently to yourself, my mind is clear. So it's inhale, my body is strong and supple. And exhale, my mind is clear. Inhale, my body is strong and supple. Exhale, my mind is clear. And the next one, you're going to inhale and repeat silently, my spirit is filled with power, love, and wisdom. And as you exhale, all in equal measure. Inhale, my spirit is filled with power, love, and wisdom. And as you exhale, all in equal measure. Inhale, my spirit is filled with power, love, and wisdom. And as you exhale, all in equal measure. And you can close the eyes here. Let that meditation resonate with you. Bring your palms together to touch at heart center as you're ready. And we'll open class with one sweet Om. If you want to join me, take a cleansing breath first. Inhale through the nose. Exhale with a sigh. Inhale for Om. And gently bow your head to your heart. Release the hands, open the eyes, lift the chin. Okay, from here we'll just do some simple neck rolls to start to loosen up the neck and shoulders. So we'll start by simply dropping the right ear to the right shoulder. And keep the shoulders nice and broad here. You can close the eyes. And as you exhale, bring the chin to the chest. And then bring it around on your inhalation, dropping the left ear to the left shoulder. And then chin to chest. Right ear to right shoulder. And chin to chest. Left ear to left shoulder. And we'll do one more time on each side. Chin to chest. Right ear to right shoulder. Back through center. And left ear to left shoulder. And then we'll bring it back up. So from here, we're going to interlace the hands and place them right at the base of the skull. And we'll inhale here, opening the elbows up wide, leaning back, gently pressing the back of the head into the hands for a baby back bend. And then as you exhale, we'll hug the elbows in and round through the upper spine. Gentle bow. And then inhale, open the arms out to the side. Exhale, round it out. Inhale, open the arms up to the side. And exhale, just gently rounding out the upper spine. Feels real good. And last one, rounding it out. Good. And then gently release the hands down. Actually, we'll bring the arms back up to the hands up to the shoulders and just circle the elbows around. Just gently, gently. Good. And then release and just take the shoulders up and back a couple times. Little shoulder shrugs. Beautiful. And we'll come now onto all fours and take a couple cat-cow stretches. So coming onto hands and knees, placing the wrists underneath the shoulders and the knees underneath the hips, erring on the side of the length. You can take a quick little spin of the ankles here, one way and then the other. It's always good to keep some activity in the ankles. And from here, spread the fingers nice and wide. Gently hug the arms in towards one another. And we'll tilt the tailbone back, drop the belly down, shine the heart forward and lift the head. And then exhale, rounding out through the spine and rounding out through each vertebrae as you drop the head, curling the whole spine. When you're ready, peel the tailbone back. Cow, and then round it out for cat. And you can do this a little bit faster or a little bit slower, just depending on what feels good for you. Try to follow the breath. Exhaling when you round it out, and inhaling when you arch. And then come back to a neutral spine, and we'll do this simple little bump of the hips out to the right, and then take the gaze around to the left. Nice opening in the low back here. And come back to center. We'll bump the hips out to the left, take the gaze to the right. Good, and inhale back. Exhale, bump the hips out to the right. Turn your gaze around. Very good, and then same thing, other side. Bump the hips out to the left. And take the gaze to the right. Beautiful. So from here, we'll do little bird dog, gentle bird dog. So first we'll start by just extending the right leg out behind you and then bending it in. We'll do this a couple of times to sort of warm up the core. You know, we're not really going for anything too strenuous. It is a restorative class, so we do want to work through the range of motion here. So Once you've got your legs straight, you can stay here, or optionally, if you'd like to extend this left arm out, just kind of testing your balance, gently warming up the core, and release. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. So extending the left leg out and bend it in on an exhale. Inhale, extend. Exhale, bend it in. Just staying with what feels good in your body. We're not here to push today. That's maybe for another day. Extend that left leg out, and then gently activating your core. Optionally, you can extend this right arm out. Try and let the breath flow here. Good, and then release your hand down, release your leg down. Take a child's pose. So walking the feet wide, bring the big toes together to touch. Press your feet back to your heels and just walk the hands out. And let the forehead come down to the mat, or if the forehead feels far away, you can slide a blanket or a block or a pillow under your head for a little extra support. And just allow your body to soften here. Give yourself a little grace. These times are kind of hard. So cultivate some compassion for yourself in whatever changes you're going through. Everybody's gone through some kind of big change. Just acknowledge that and cultivate some loving kindness for yourself for whatever it is that you've been going through. And then as you're ready, we're going to gently come back up to all fours. So from here, we're going to step the right leg forward between the hands. So we're coming into this kneeling position. And if you have blocks, this is a good place to use them. You don't have to have them. I'll show you the modification without blocks. But if you have blocks, maybe try them on the medium facet. And we're going to gently shift the weight forward into the hips. And we want to have the arms be straight and just gently bending, like bowing the head down towards the chest, and let the hips sink down as they will. So you may need to experiment with the blocks. For me, this first facet of the block is perfect. Now, if you don't have blocks, you might find that you can just plant your hands down flat. That's great. I feel like my arms are like a little short for that. So if I don't have blocks, I just come up onto my finger pads here. And the idea is to let the hips kind of soften down, and also to bow the head so that you can release a little bit in the neck. 2 more breaths here. This is a great psoas stretch, good for sciatica pain. Go ahead and gently walk yourself back, and we'll switch sides. So we'll just simply walk that right leg back and take the left leg forward into this lunge. So again, using blocks or just tented fingertips. And then slowly, as feels good for you, shifting the weight in the hips forward and bowing the head. So I noticed that I have to take my time and let this pose evolve over the course of a few breaths. So give yourself at least 3 or 4 breaths to kind of find the pose. I'm just holding here for another 2. And then as you're ready, gently walking the feet back. Okay, so from here, I'm going to replant our hands, fingers spread nice and wide, and focus the press of the hands in the inner edges of the hands. So the index finger and thumb, particularly the index finger, or the knuckle of the index finger and thumb, is where you want to feel the most connected, or the heaviest point of the hand. And then we'll tuck the toes and send the hips high with the knees nice and bent. So this, we're preparing for our one down dog that we're going to do tonight. And we want to keep the knees bent so that we can get the spine nice and long. So we'll press the floor away through that index finger and thumb and send the bum high. And depending on your level of flexibility, you can start to pedal out the heels, straightening one leg and then the other, or maybe just moving those legs towards straight. It doesn't have to actually straighten, especially if you're working on hamstring flexibility. If you are working on hamstring flexibility, I would suggest bending the knees just as much as you need to, meaning if you only need a little tiny bend, only take a little tiny bend. If you need a little more, take a little more, but don't bend really, really deep when all you really need is a little bit. So let's breathe in our down dog. Now that we've pedaled out through the heels and taken a moment to ease into it, let's hold for a couple breaths, inhaling through the nose, nice and long, and exhaling, press the floor away, allowing the heels to drip down towards the floor, pressing more weight into the legs. Beautiful. And then as you're ready, we're going to bend the knees and walk the feet slowly up towards the hands, coming into a hanging forward fold. So stepping the feet about hip distance apart and parallel. Let the knees be soft here and take hold of opposite elbows. Take a nice breath here. And as you exhale, try to let the crown of the head release. You can shake your head, no. You can nod your head, yes. Try and allow gravity to traction out the spine here. And something I really like is to shift the weight from side to side and sway in this ragdoll type pose. Now I kind of like a big sway. You may like a slightly smaller sway. Whatever feels good for you is good. This pose is really just about loosening up and opening up in the back body and the spine, releasing the crown of the head down. So whatever movements help you get there. And gently release the hands and we'll roll all the way up to stand. And as you get to the top, roll the shoulders up and back a couple times. And I'll come over here because I see I'm getting a little bit cut off. So just being at the top of your mat, I'm going to take a little side stretch. So inhale the arms up overhead, and you can press the palms together at the top here. And just pressing the palms up, reaching the arms as straight as you can. And as you exhale, leaning over to the right. Inhale, come up, and lean over to the left. Nice little side bend. And gently release. So now I want you to find a wall. I'm going to use this wall right here. And we're going to do a supported forward fold. So standing with the feet about hip distance apart and parallel, we're just going to lean the bum right onto the wall. So here, take the hands on the hips, lengthen up through the crown of the head, and then fold forward. So if your hammies are tight, you might want to just stop halfway through or somewhere along this path, or maybe soften the bend in the knee. And if you have more space to go, you can come all the way down to the floor here. And just allow your body to gently be supported by the wall here. And another breath here. Gentle forward fold. And then come all the way up to stand. I'll do one more pose on the wall. One of my faves, it's a shower pose. So you're going to interlace the hands like this and take this forearm to the wall. And from here, you're just going to walk the feet back. And the forearms may slide down a little bit. That's okay. Walk the feet back And then gently press the forearms into the wall. And we're going to let the heart sink down. This is a great stretch on the shoulders where we hold a lot of tension. It's called the shower stretch, and it is actually really nice to do it in the shower. So if you want to take this into the shower, go right ahead. Thing is, you want to be a little bit careful because you can overstretch here. So what I suggest for that is to inhale, kind of hug it in a little bit, and exhale, dip the heart down. And there's like a little oscillation here. And you can actually do this in almost any yoga pose as you breathe. Go ahead and gently release, come back up. And we'll take a couple of warrior poses here just to get the blood moving in the legs. So let's start with a nice wide stance with the legs, with the feet parallel. And then take the right foot and just turn it out 90 degrees so that it's facing the skinny edge of your mat. And as we bend into our warrior two, we want to make sure that the knee is tracking over the second toe. And what we're aiming for is a vertical shin here. So inhale the arms up, get nice and tall. And exhale, bending that knee right over the second toe and opening the arms out into your warrior pose. So this is a great pose for cultivating strength and power for all the things that you may be working towards in your life all of a sudden. Cultivating that sense of fierceness and strength. So go ahead and breathe into your inner warrior here just for a moment. Beautiful. And then straighten through both legs. Keeping the feet just where they are, we're going to take a gentle triangle pose. So I'm going to tilt the hips back towards the left, reach forward with the right, and then bring your hand down maybe to right around the knee, just above or just below. This isn't going to be like deepest triangle pose you can do. It's just more about a gentle stretch. So the legs are soft, like kind of gently engaged here, opening the heart up towards the left. Good, and then come all the way back up to stand. We'll return that right foot in so that the feet are parallel once again, and then we'll turn the left foot out. Inhale the arms up. And exhale, coming into your warrior two on the second side. So bending into that left knee, making sure again that it's tracking over the second toe and aiming for a vertical shin. So here, take the gaze over your left fingertips and, you know, once again, cultivate that sense of strength and power, that fierceness that we all need at some points in our lives to fight for what we really want. And then straighten through your front leg. We'll tilt the hips back to the right, reach forward with the left, and then just a nice easy tilt, planting the hand maybe on the thigh or just below the knee, coming into this whole Trikonasana triangle pose. And as you're ready, inhale, come all the way up. We'll soften the knees, step the feet together. We're going to come down onto the mat now. So coming down onto your knees, we'll take hare pose, which is like a child's pose variation. The knees are going to be coming straight forward instead of how in child's pose they come out to the side. So femur bones parallel here. And we're just going to take the crown of the head down to the floor as we are able, and keeping the arms by the sides. Coming down like this, and just take a breath or two here. Notice what this feels like. And then as you're ready, if you can take hold of your ankles here, or your heels here, you can hold onto your heels and lift your hips to roll up onto your head. Now this pose is a little challenging for me, and so I find that I like to just let my hands slide up the legs to give myself a little more space to access the pose. So this is an example of me taking ownership of my practice and finding what feels good. And I would encourage you guys to do the same thing. So take the top of the head down, and you can see my hands are sliding up a little bit so that I can get a little more lift and access to lift hips and curve that spine. So this will activate the low, some deep abdominal muscles that often are maybe weak and cause back pain. So this pose can be very therapeutic for somebody who's having low back pain or who has back pain due to weak abdominal muscles, which is everybody, right? So let's try it again. And you can move through, up and down as feels good for you. So I like to exhale, lift the hips up and activate the abs, and then lower down. Inhale. Exhale, reapproach. Good. When you're ready, gently come back up to sit. Beautiful. And let's work our way onto our bums here. And if sitting on your bum is tricky or troublesome for you, come sit onto a blanket or a block. We're just going to do a gentle twist here. So we'll take left hand to right knee, right hand behind. Inhale, lift and lengthen in the spine, and exhale, twist. Thinking of twisting the lower spine, middle spine, upper spine, and then the neck as you go. So inhale, lengthen, and exhale. Twist in the low spine. Following the breath, the middle spine on your next exhalation. Upper spine. And then finally, walking the gaze around to the right. And inhale, untwist. So as we go around the other side, I just want to take a moment to say that in twists, it's really important to just follow your breath and not to leverage the strength of the arms too much, because you can actually injure your spine. So inhale, lift and lengthen here, and exhale, gently twist in the low spine. And on your next breath, we'll twist in the middle spine. And on that next breath in the upper spine. And walking the gaze all the way around the left shoulder. Inhale, untwist. Lovely. Okay, bring the soles of the feet together here. Take hold of the ankles. Lift and lengthen up through the spine. And exhale, fold forward. Good, and then inhale, come all the way back up. All right, we'll lay down on our backs now. And we'll take a quick little number 4 thread the needle stretch. So lay down on your back, bend the knees. So walking the feet up kind of close to your bum, and just cross the right foot over the left knee, and then lift the left leg and interlace your hands behind the left thigh. So here you want to pause and just try to let the shoulders come down towards the floor. It might feel good to rock a little bit side to side, but you like to just kind of shift this left leg gently and slowly side to side. For me, that helps to really open up the hips. Now, if you have more flexibility, you can straighten through this leg and maybe even walk your hands above, hugging it in this way. It just depends on where you're at with your body. So gently release that foot down, and we'll switch sides, crossing left foot over right knee, and then lifting that right leg and interlace your hands behind the right thigh. Give yourself a couple breaths here to soften. Notice the back. Notice what it feels like. This stretch really hits a lot of different places. So allow yourself to soften and kind of acknowledge what is this stretch doing for you. And then gently sway from side to side. Gently release. Let's take a happy baby here. So we'll take the first two fingers in between the first two toes. Let the feet come up towards the ceiling. Hug the elbows, or hug the knees in towards the armpits. Try and get as much of your back on the floor as you can. So for a lot of people, this means peeling the tailbone back towards the mat. And then again, nice little rocking motion side to side. And then gently release. And I'll set you up here for your final Shavasana. So you can simply straighten the legs out along your mat and open the arms out to the sides. And there's lots of little supports you can do. If you have blocks, it can be nice to put the blocks right underneath the upper, like right where your bum stops and your leg begins. You put blocks right underneath that spot. It can feel wonderfully supported. Another thing that feels great is to take a bolster or a pillow or two and place it underneath your knees. Now, if you don't have any props, it's no problem. You can just lay flat, or if this type of thing looks good to you, you can do this with the legs on a sofa or a chair right nearby. It'll give you a similar type of restorative relaxation. So just want you to lay here, take a couple breaths, inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Just kicking off the relaxation. We'll do that again. Inhale and exhale. Just allowing your body to kind of sink into the floor, giving yourself permission to let go. Now, as you lay here, I'm going to do a few relaxation cues for you, and then I'm going to sing a little bit, and then I'm going to end class and encourage you to just stay laying flat on your back for as long as feels good for you, because it is during that time that you really get restored. It allows your body to absorb all the benefits of your practice, and it gives you time to just let go. So I would encourage you to just lay here, relax, and let go. If you find that your laundry list of things to do is popping up in your mind, just, gently acknowledge that and then bid it adieu. Say, you know what, I'll deal with you after my yoga restorative time. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchitananda Murtaye Nishpapanchaya Santaya Niralambaya Tejase. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchitananda Murtaye Nishpapanchaya Santaya Niralambaya Tejase Om. Thank you so much for joining in and enjoy the rest of your relaxation. Namaste.